Syria has been, for years, a Star Wars bar for U.S. adversaries in the region, whether that's ISIS and Al-Qaeda, Iran, Russia. It's been the platform for power projection for those adversaries, where their actions have not just been confined to Syria, but they've used Syria to try to attack Israel, to destabilize Lebanon, and so on and so forth. And the conflict in Syria over the past 14 years hasn't remained confined to Syria. It's drawn in numerous foreign forces, including ours. It's sparked massive refugee flows to Europe and to Syria's neighbors. It's led to, as you mentioned, to Syria's rise as a major narco-trafficking state, something which we hadn't seen before, and even saw the first use of chemical weapons in war for decades, since I think World War I. And when you go through that list, it's absolutely clear that the emergence of a new and better government in Syria would represent probably the starkest and most positive change of the many changes that the Middle East has seen since the heinous attacks of October 7th, 2023. But we're a long way from realizing that opportunity. We can see it, but it's not yet within our grasp. So what do? How can we seize the opportunity and get around these obstacles? Briefly, let me recommend the following. First, we need to continue to prioritize our counterterrorism operations and partnerships. We cannot ease up the pressure on ISIS. Second, I do think we should engage pragmatically with HTS and test its willingness to cooperate on areas of shared concern, like countering Iran and ISIS, countering narcotics, border security, and so forth. And we need to watch and see if HTS is truly committed to more inclusive governance, which is, I think, the key to long-term peace and stability, and the key to our interests as well. Third, I do think we should take a phased and performance-based approach to the relief of sanctions, which is something absolutely Syrians will need as they go forward. And then finally, as we look at the bigger regional picture, I lay out a full agenda in my written testimony, but several things are key. First and foremost, we have to work assiduously to ensure that Syria never again falls into the orbit of Iran, and we can't cede the ground of Syria to Russia and China. Second, we need to work in lockstep with our Arab partners. We didn't do this in Iraq after 2003. And what happened was those partners shunned Baghdad, and we and they left it exposed to Iranian domination. We don't want to see that happen here. Third, we need to reach an understanding with Turkey that it should respect Syrian sovereignty and refrain from actions that are going to undermine stability or our interests there. And then finally, we need to take this opportunity to try to cement Israeli-Syrian non-aggression understandings, which could eventually lead to actual peace between Israel and Syria, which is something we've sought for a long time. It's a full agenda, but I agree it's a historic opportunity, and seizing it, I think, is going to take patience, pragmatism, but most of all, American leadership.